So now my last point on ESBC, the release date. That's one of the biggest questions that a lot of people are asking. When is this game going to be released? At one point, I thought it would be earlier in 2022. But now I'm starting to feel, based off of conversations that I'm having, that we're probably looking something more towards the summer of 2022. A lot of that has to do with the fact that if Steel City does link up with a major publisher, right, whoever that is, publishers of that nature, they don't like rushed deliveries, rushed releases. They want time to hype a game. They want time to do their different media events. They want time to run trailers. They want to make sure that there is a maximum amount of exposure for their title. And also, from a financial support standpoint, Steel City started off as a very small studio, but I know for a fact the studio has grown exponentially over the time period that this game has been developed. And a lot of it has been because of these increased investments that are coming from all of these people who are loving what is happening. So if they do link with a publisher, which is what I believe strongly is probably going to happen, you can expect at that point is when you'll probably see your concrete release date or release a month. And you can expect it to be a little bit of a ways out because they're going to want time to hype this game up. So I'm thinking somewhere around Cinco de Mayo, because we all know how humongous of a holiday that is, especially for boxing. For years, we always knew we would get a Floyd fight, or we're going to see the greatest Mexican fighter in the world at that particular time is more than likely going to fight that weekend. So it is a huge day for the sport of boxing and a huge time. And it would not shock me in one bit if that's a time period that ESBC takes advantage of, especially if there's a huge fight around that time. We'll see what happens with Canelo. Obviously, we already know he's in the game. So it just makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense. So keep your eyes open.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Remy coming back with another ESBC video for you guys. Now, you seen by the intro, we have some things that we have to talk about. So without further ado, I'm not going to hold up nobody's time. Let's just get into the video. So as y'all just seen, Brian Mazique just dropped some jewels. And if you don't know who Brian Mazique is an insider of the insider of the insider. You always hear about people having sources and stuff, right? Forget that. Brian Mazique, he is a source within himself whenever it comes to the sports game industry. This dude knows some things. So for him to come out and say that it is possible that ESBC will have a publishing deal, that is coming from somewhere. He wouldn't just say that if it wasn't for a reasoning behind it. And that is why it is important that this video comes out, because I want this to be a discussion. This is really big news. And from how he explains it, it makes sense. Because from what he explained it as, right, he was hinting that ESBC will get a publishing deal from a magnitude. Now, in my opinion, when I think of magnitudes, I think of publishing companies like EA, Take-Two Interactive, and 2K. Those are the companies I think of when I hear magnitude. So it must be a really big company that are looking at trying to publish ESBC. Do you understand how big of a deal that is? Not even for us as fans, but for Steel City Interactive. I'm gonna be real with you guys. With Steel City Interactive being a smaller company, right? It was only a certain ceiling that I feel like they probably couldn't reach. And with a publishing deal, like for example, say if it's Take-Two Interactive, right? With a publishing deal of Take-Two Interactive, do you know how much hype, how much notoriety that ESBC can generate just by being published by Take-Two Interactive? Mind you, Take-Two Interactive publishes Rockstar Games. So when you're looking at Grand Theft Auto 5 trailers, Red Dead 2 trailers, that is coming from Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two Interactive really pushes out their games. They also own 50% of the 2K League. Why is that a factor? Because Steel City Interactive want ESBC to be a esports game, hence why it's named Esports Boxing Club. If they go with a Take-Two Interactive, a company that already owns 50% of a 2K League, of an actual esports league, that could also help them be able to push them being closer to a esports type of game that Steel City Interactive had a vision to be. And it's big news, because if we are keeping it real here, there's only a certain ceiling I feel like Steel City Interactive can only reach. And I don't mean that in a negative way. As a smaller company, Steel City Interactive, if they was to publish ESBC, it will be a ceiling that I feel like they will have trouble trying to reach. There are people in the world who still don't know anything about ESBC. But imagine if you have a Take-Two Interactive, a 2K, or a EA that is publishing your game. Oh, you best believe Esports Boxing Club will be known all over the place. And it will also help international growth, as well as people all around the world will know about this game. If Steel City Interactive have plans to release this game globally, that will also help big time as well, because like I said, there are still people in the world who don't know about ESBC, let alone in the US. People still don't know about ESBC. So a publishing deal with that magnitude is going to help them tenfold. ESBC will officially be a AAA title at that point in time. Like, they will officially be a AAA title if they can land a publishing deal of a magnitude of a Take-Two Interactive. It will be phenomenal for ESBC. ESBC would definitely reach a new peak that I don't even know that Steel City Interactive could even imagine them getting. They will reach a totally new peak. So I'm going to close it off with this. And it was a important detail that Brian Mazique has said in the video, and it was pertaining to the release date, or the possible release date for Esports Boxing Club. And he had mentioned that he feels like ESBC could possibly come out of May of next year. Now, a lot of people will disagree with that, but do understand, if it is like that, if Esports Boxing Club doesn't come out until mid to late next year, do understand that is a great thing for Esports Boxing Club, especially considering if they do land a publishing deal, that gives the publisher more than enough time to generate hype for the game, generate notoriety for the game, so the game can actually sell. And it needs time to do that. It needs time for it to cook. If you think about it, think about all the games that you play right now. They don't come as soon as you see a trailer. No, it has to generate hype over time. First it's a trailer, then a few months after that it's a beta, or it's a early access. The game needs time to generate hype and popularity, so it will help the game's future. If Steel City Interactive was to drop ESBC right now, it would have not have sold as good as it could have sold if somebody else like Take-Two, like 2K, like EA would have sold it, if it was being branded by a bigger name. Everybody knows EA, everybody knows Take-Two Interactive and 2K. So for it to be under their names and for them to push it out and have trailers for it, because these trailers, it's everywhere. So if they handle these games, it's better if they do it. With that being said, I think I'm gonna end it off here. Kind of covered a lot, but I'm eager to know more about this possibility of a publishing deal behind ESBC. And if it is true that ESBC could be nearing a publishing deal, that also explains why we haven't really got much, or why they have stopped giving us updates, because they probably are nearing a publishing deal, or they don't know what's going on with the games themselves. So it kind of makes sense of what's been going on surrounding ESBC, and it makes total sense, and I'm eager to know more news. So with that being said, this will conclude the video. If you are new to the channel and you enjoy any of my content, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And if you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss out on any more uploads. With that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.